Hello students, today we will be learning about the very first member of alkyne homologous series. So let's start with the general formula of the alkyne homologous series. As we know that the general formula for the alkyne homologous series is CnH2n-2, and here to write the formula of its member, here we are to put the value of n here. Since we are talking about the very first member, so here the value of n should be 2 here, because as we know that for being alkyne there should be at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. So the minimum number of carbon atoms that may be present in a molecule of alkyne is 2, and by putting the value of n is equals to 2, we will be getting the smallest or the simplest alkyne, that is C2H2. So here we are to talk about the properties, the chemical reactions of this C2H2. Now let's start with the name of this compound. If we talk about the name of this compound, so as this compound contains two carbon atoms, the word root for this compound will be eth, and since the general formula we have followed for alkyne, so here the suffix will be "ine". That is why this compound is termed as ethyne. It's the chemical name of this compound. On the other hand, if I talk about the common name of this compound, then commonly this compound can also be termed as acetylene. This is the common name of this compound. Now since this C2H2 contains two carbon atoms, so if I talk about the geometry or the structure of this compound, here each the carbon atom has the sp hybridization, and the 2sp hybridized orbital of each carbon atom can be indicated by this. That is the very first carbon atom, and these are the 2sp hybridized orbital of this carbon atom. The one sp hybridized orbital of one carbon atom goes for the overlapping with the sp hybridized orbital of another carbon atom. That will be like this. These are the two sp hybridized orbital of second carbon atom, and this one, it shows the overlapping between the sp hybridized orbital of first carbon atom with the sp hybridized orbital of second carbon atom. Now here one orbital of this carbon atom and one orbital of this carbon atom is left, and here two hydrogen atoms are also there. So these two hydrogen atoms, the s orbital of each hydrogen atom goes for the overlapping with this sp hybridized orbital. This is the s orbital of hydrogen atom, and this one is the overlapping between sp hybridized orbital and s orbital of hydrogen atom. The same thing is repeated for the next carbon atom also. So this is the sp-s hybridized orbital overlapping. This one is the hydrogen atom, and this is the sp hybridized orbital. Sp hybridized orbital, it goes the overlapping with the s orbital of hydrogen atom. And that is the geometry of this acetylene molecule. Here each carbon atom has two unhybridized orbitals that I am not going to show here. If I talk about the bond angle between these two sp hybridized orbitals, so as we can see, they are going to form a linear geometry, resulting the bond angle between these two sp hybridized orbital is 180 degrees. Now here the structure or the bonds between these two carbon atoms are triple bonds. Out of these, there is one sigma bond which is formed by the overlapping of this sp hybridized orbital with the another sp hybridized orbital, and the left two unhybridized p orbital goes for the overlapping, goes for the lateral overlapping that results in the formation of two pi bonds. So that can be indicated by this one carbon atom with one hydrogen atom. It makes one sigma and two pi bond with the another carbon atom connected with the next hydrogen atom through a sigma bond. So here this carbon-carbon atoms are connected by a triple bond, and the bond energy that is required to make this triple bond is 190.5 kilocalorie per mole. So that is about the structure or the geometry of this acetylene. Now if we come to the properties of this compound, so let's discuss the physical properties in beginning. In the physical properties, we will be talking about the physical state of this compound. So this ethylene, being the very first member of alkyne homologous series, it exists in gaseous state with no any specific color, but it has a specific and a characteristic gas which is quite sweet smelling substance, we can say. So basically it's a colorless gas with a specific So that's the very first property. Now if I talk about the solubility of this gas in the universal solvent water, so it's quite less soluble in water. We can say that negligible solubility is this. So that is slightly soluble in water. On the other hand, it can be easily dissolved in all the another organic solvents like benzene, alcohol, ether. In these kinds of solvent, it is easily soluble. Now, if I talk about the density of this gas, so this gas is lighter than water. That is about the physical properties of this compound. Now, let's come to the chemical properties of this acetylene. As we know that this acetylene contains pi bonds, and the pi bond has a specific reaction that these compounds which contain the pi bond, they easily goes for the addition reaction. So the very first chemical property that we are to discuss here is the addition reaction of this acetylene. Now this can show the addition reaction with the various reagents. Like the very first, we are going to show the addition reaction of this acetylene with halogen. As this acetylene goes for the addition reaction with halogen, this can be indicated by this CH. As the halogen I am using here chlorine. So this reaction occurs in the presence of an inert or non-polar solvent. Like here we can take the medium as carbon tetrachloride. Here when this chlorine molecule is added on this acetylene molecule, resultant a pi bond breaks, which results in the formation of two new sigma bonds. So now this CH, where initially two pi bonds were there, now it will be having only one pi bond and one sigma bond. The compound will be like this, and this breaking of pi bond will result in the formation of two sigma bonds that can be indicated by this symbol. The one sigma bond with this carbon atom and the another sigma bond with this carbon atom. Now, since this formed compound, that is 1,2-dichloroethene, also has pi bond in it, so if we want, we can further go for the addition reaction with this compound. In the presence of non-polar solvent carbon tetrachloride or ferric chloride, it will further go for the addition reaction. The resultant will be CH connected with a sigma bond to the another CH group. Initially, it was having one chlorine to each. Now, due to the breaking of one pi bond, here two sigma bonds will also form that can be indicated by this. This formed compound has four chlorine atoms on the position 1, 1 and 2, 2. So this formed compound can be termed as 1, 1, again 2, 2. It's tetrachloro. And since the molecule contains only sigma bond, so this molecule will be termed as ethene. So that's the IUPAC name for this compound, and that is the addition reaction with halogen. Instead of this halogen, if we take hydrochloric acid or any halogen acid, so there it will further go for the addition reaction, and that is the second kind of this addition reaction. With halogen acids like hydrochloric acid, hydrofluoric acid, hydroiodic acid or hydrobromic acid, we can perform this addition reaction. Like for example, here I am taking hydrochloric acid. So when we start with the molecule of this ethyne, that is CH triple bond CH, when it reacts with hydrochloric acid, here this pi bond breaks and the resultant is the formation of two sigma bond. The one sigma bond is formed with this hydrogen atom. Here only one sigma and one pi bond will left with one CH group, and now the CH group will form a sigma bond with the chlorine atom of this hydrochloric acid. Now since this compound again has a pi bond, so if we want, we can further go for the addition of one hydrochloric acid. By the addition of this hydrochloric acid, the formed compound will be CH with a sigma bond with the another CH group. Initially they were having one hydrogen and one chlorine respectively. Now here this hydrogen atom containing CH group will have one more hydrogen group, and here this will have one more chlorine group. So the name of this compound is 1,1-dichloroethane, and this compound is formed due to the addition reaction with halogen acids to this ethyne. Now if we take one more example for this addition reaction, like when we go for the addition of hydrogen, this addition of hydrogen can also be termed as hydrogenation. Like here if I take ethyne molecule, so when this ethyne combines with hydrogen, this reaction occurs in the presence of a catalyst, that here we can take nickel or Raney nickel. Then when this addition reaction of hydrogen occurs, if we take the controlled hydrogenation reaction, one pi bond will break, resultant two new sigma bond will be formed like this. And this is the molecule of ethene. Instead of this, if we go for the complete hydrogenation of this, finally this molecule will again go for the hydrogenation in the presence of nickel catalyst, and the final molecule will be CH connected with one sigma bond to the another CH group. Initially they both were having one hydrogen atom each, and now they will be having one more hydrogen atom by the sigma bond. So that is the formation of ethene. Instead of the formation of this ethane, as we have seen that by the hydrogenation of this ethyne, finally we can get the molecule of ethane. Instead, to get the ethane, if we want to stop this reaction on ethene, we can go for the controlled hydrogenation. Like if we go for the hydrogenation of this ethyne under the condition of lead as the catalyst, and to control the reactivity of this lead as the catalyst, we are using here calcium carbonate. This kind of mixture of these two is termed as Lindlar catalyst, and this Lindlar catalyst will go for the controlled hydrogenation of this acetylene, that will form the molecule of ethene instead of ethane. So that is about the hydrogenation reaction. Now here we can also form alcohol by the addition of water molecule on this acetylene. So one more example for this addition reaction, when we go for the addition of water. So as we start with the molecule of acetylene, that is CH triple bond CH, when we react this with the molecule of water, that is H2O, this water ionizes as H plus and OH minus ion, and each of these ions connect through a sigma bond on each carbon atom of ethyne. The resultant molecule formed will be CH connected with pi bond, connected with one sigma and one pi bond to the another CH group, and this carbon will be having hydrogen. This carbon will be having OH group of water. So this formed molecule, due to the presence of OH functional group, this is the alcohol, and due to the presence of CH double bond CH, this compound commonly termed as vinyl alcohol. So this vinyl alcohol can further be converted into aldehyde. By the rearrangement of atoms, it can be converted into acetaldehyde with the formula CH3CHO. So for the formation of acetaldehyde, we can take the acetylene as the starting material, and by the addition of water on this acetylene, we can finally get aldehyde. So that is about the addition reaction. Now let's move to the combustion reaction of this acetylene. As we go for the combustion of this acetylene with the formula C2H2, so in the combustion, when it combines with oxygen, a large amount of energy is released with a specific flame, that luminous flame that is generally seen with the aromatic compound, that will be here, it will be appeared. This formed flame is originated due to the reaction of oxygen with this acetylene. That is why here the flame is termed as oxyacetylene flame. This oxyacetylene flame, due to the very high temperature that is released due to this combustion reaction, is used in the welding purpose. So here for the welding and the cutting steel, we can use this oxyacetylene flame. When we go for the combustion or to produce this oxyacetylene flame, here two sub-products we will be getting carbon dioxide and water, and the large amount of energy is released, that is approximate 1296 kilojoule. So this much amount of energy is released, and to balance this reaction, here we are to use the stoichiometric coefficient as 2, 5, 4 and 2 respectively. So this is about the balanced combustion reaction. Now the last chemical reaction of this compound is left, and that is the polymerization reaction. As we start by taking n number of this acetylene molecule, they will work like a monomer, and under the suitable condition they will combine to give a polymer. This polymer, since as the monomer we are using ethyne here, so this formed polymer can be termed as polyethine, and the significance or the symbol for this polyethine can be given as CH with a multiple bond with the another CH group, and here these two bonds are free to be connected with another monomer. Since in starting we have taken n molecules of this ethyl molecule, so finally the complete symbol with the whole bracket n, and this formed polymer can be termed as polyethyl. Instead of this, if we go for the formation of cyclic polymers, then when this acetylene is passed through red hot tube of iron or quartz, this goes for the cyclic polymerization reaction, and there three molecules of this acetylene will combine or will go for the polymerization reaction to form a molecule of benzene. So sometimes to prepare this benzene, we can take this acetylene as the starting reagent, and by the cyclic polymerization of this compound that occurs in the presence of red hot iron tube, this cyclic polymerization process will occur that will result in the formation of this acetylene. Now that is about the chemical and the physical properties of this compound. If I talk about the method of formation for this compound, so that is left here, and now we are to discuss that how we can prepare this much useful compound in laboratory. So that's our next topic, method of preparation. The very first method of preparation is the lab method, and in the laboratory or to prepare this ethine at the large scale, it is prepared by the hydrolysis of calcium carbide. So that is the lab method of preparation. There it is prepared by the hydrolysis or the reaction of water with calcium carbide. The formula of calcium carbide is CaCO2. When it is reacted with water, by the reaction, calcium being electropositive in nature, it combines with the OH minus radical of this water. The formation of calcium hydroxide or slacked lime occurs here with the formation of C2H2, that is the acetylene molecule. Now here to prepare this calcium carbide, we take quicklime, and when we heat this quicklime, that is calcium oxide with carbon, result in the formation of calcium carbide CaC2 with the formation of carbon monoxide occurs. This calcium carbide can be further used to form this acetylene molecule in the laboratory, and that is the lab method of formation for this calcium carbide. Now this calcium carbide can be prepared by the another processes also, like since this acetylene contains carbon and hydrogen atoms, so by the direct reaction or the direct synthesis between carbon and hydrogen, this acetylene can be formed. If I start by taking two molecules of this carbon, when it reacts with hydrogen, by the direct reaction, or that can be termed as direct synthesis, by the direct reaction between these two that occurs in the presence of electric arc, and the temperature that is generated at that time is approximate 3270 Kelvin. So in the presence of electric arc, these two combines and the formation of acetylene it occurs. So that's another method to prepare this compound. Now there is one more method to prepare this, like if we go for the dehydrohalogenation of halides, and in starting I am taking dihalides. So by the dehydrohalogenation of dihalides, this acetylene can be prepared. Like in starting, if I take vicinal dihalide with the formula CH2 single bond with a halogen, and here I am taking vicinal dibromide, that is Br, connected with another CH2 group, and at the adjacent carbon atom, here one more halogen is there. If at the adjacent carbon atom two halogens are there, that compound is termed as vicinal dihalide. When we go for the reaction of this vicinal dihalide with the alcoholic KOH, that results in the elimination reaction, and due to the elimination reaction, here the formation of acetylene with the formula CH triple bond CH occurs with the formation of potassium bromide, and here we are to take two molecules of potassium bromide with the formation of two molecules of water it occurs, and that is another method for the formation of acetylene. Now instead of taking dihalide, we can also make this with tetrahalides, and if we go for the dehalogenation of tetrahalides, this acetylene can also be formed. Dehalogenation of tetrahalides, like In starting, if I take 1122 tetrabromoethane, the formula will be CH connected with 2 bromine atoms. And here, since it's a molecule of ethane, so one more carbon atom is here with hydrogens and 2 bromines. So this molecule contains 4 bromine atoms, that is tetrahalide. If we go for the dehalogenation, that is the removal of halogens, it can be termed as dehalogenation. And for the removal of halogens, we are using 2 electropositive metals like 2 zinc molecules here we are using. When we heat this mixture, the reaction occurs between these two. The zinc molecule, it reacts with the bromine, resulting in the formation of zinc bromide with the formula ZnBr2 occurs. 2 molecules of zinc bromide will form with the formation of acetylene. So that is another method of formation for this acetylene. And by this methods, what the acetylene will form shows the different physical and chemical properties that we have seen earlier.